Good morning. Welcome back to ShortSalePowerHour.com. I'm Kevin Kauffman. You know my partner, Fred Weaver. We're Group 4610, Arizona's premier short sale team.
I'm time for the clapping part?
Not yet.
All right.
Yeah. For those of you who we didn't completely scare off yesterday, I've brought my friend, my buddy back here.
I've got more shoots in the car, and we can make it look like a week-long series of shoots.
No, I don't.
I don't
change my clothes.
Okay, cool.
I actually wear the same shirt and shorts or pants for the next 30 days.
Lost weight.
Uh-huh.
You're looking good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Lee Honish, short sale genius. We, well, quite honestly, probably offended half of you yesterday. He talked about different designations, and that's okay, but I asked Lee to stick around because he's got a few other things on his mind, and I wanted to pick Lee's brain around what he considers to be the traits of a good short sale negotiator, what a good short sale negotiator looks and acts like. Lee's trained thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of 30,000 agents now over the last 2 years. Closed 100,000 short sales. Works with 1,000 agents currently. Anything else I should tell them?
Several hundred files in the office we actually negotiate.
Several hundred files in the office that they negotiate.
And I just fired 2 multi-million-dollar companies that hired me for private consulting because they pissed me off on a Saturday interrupting my daughter.
There you go.
Because you know what? Why are you guys making money if you're taking your work home? I got to be brutally honest about this. You want to know what makes somebody who's a really good negotiator? Somebody who positions themselves correctly, who doesn't take their business home and remembers why they're doing this. And there's 2 important reasons. The families you help and the families you help at home. That's really where it starts. Positioning is everything.
Well, we always say if you know why, it doesn't matter how.
Yeah, and
so
I always get, you know what I see out of
it.
agents that tell me this lately? They always give me this routine of, well, you know, it's just right now, or it's the next couple of years, or the next 3 to 5 while I'm doing short sales. There's always time down the road. I'm going to say this as a divorced dad who only gets a couple of days a week with my daughter as a little PSA. You get the time you have right now with whomever you're with, period.
I'm taking full advantage of my time right now with Lee.
We're spending quality time.
That was awkward for you guys.
For those of you guys who really don't know me and you're watching this going, who the hell is this guy? My name is Lee Honish. I'm the former head loss mitigator of IndyMac Bank's HELOC division. As of October 2007, I walked away with the highest gross on record as a second position negotiator at 53 cents on the dollar. I have a close ratio of 95% of all my deals prior to charge-off or foreclosure for one reason: I got paid to do it.
Wow, Chad Paxton, you think you're good? Go ahead.
Not bad. It's a good stat.
Absolutely.
So here's the thing. Lately, people have been asking me what are the real criteria for somebody to sit down and actually make a phone call to the bank. I'm sorry that I upset all of you on your little letter designations, but personally,
they're over it. If they came back, they're over it.
I'm glad. I'm glad you guys.
We're probably going to offend the other half. In the next
I hope they show up tomorrow because they want to tell me how many they close, or you know.
They will.
Whatever.
Or not.
Well, I always identify them anyway, and just like Wild Kingdom, I put a tracker on their ears so that I can find them throughout the U.S. As you can tell, I like to kid. All right. What are the traits that make a good negotiator? Well, let's cover some basics. Rule number 1, your client signed a contract with my bank in good faith. Do we all agree that?
Yes.
All right. Now, with that being said, they signed a contract in good faith. That means that they owe me money, come hither, hell, or high water.
Sure.
Now, in the history of real estate, have you ever heard of a counter that requires the buyer, the seller, and the agent to give up money?
No.
No, and I've been doing it for about 20 years. I thought it was the craziest counter I had ever heard of. So, first of all, you got to be objective, okay? That's a really tough one. You cannot be swayed by media. You cannot be swayed by the bank. My belief for most of you who haven't closed 5 short sales yet is to naturally assume everything the bank tells you is BS, because they're after 3 things. They're after money from the buyer, money from the seller, or they're after money from you. To get that money, they're going to use simple tactics. For the buyer, they're going to tell you they don't agree with the appraisal method. Simple as that.
Sure.
Number 2, to get money out of the seller, it just simply has to do with what you submit in your package.
Yeah.
We all know it. And rule number 3, to take your commission, that one's my favorite. We just make up phony guidelines, which in my opinion is the funniest.
Hold on a second. As a former loss mitigator for a major bank,
would you like me to do a few?
You're telling me you just made up guidelines.
Okay, I'll do a few.
Okay.
Last year we had the banks released a press release that said that Freddie Fannie would pay 6% automatically.
Yeah.
That press release was out for about 60 days before it was pulled. So if you started doing short sales within the last 6 or 7 months, you don't actually know this fact sitting on this broadcast.
Sure.
Which is to go to the Freddie or Fannie lookup website, plug in the number, and get the proof page. Because if you actually submit it to the bank, whether or not it's a Freddie or Fannie or an investor deal, they're not going to tell you.
Yeah, and you know what? It turns out...
And they'll in fact lie to you.
They will, and I know that from firsthand experience. We've actually had negotiators tell us they're only going to pay us 5% when we already knew it was a Fannie Mae deal or Freddie Mac deal. So yeah, they will make guidelines. They'll make up guidelines. We all hear the investor guidelines.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Bob the investor. How the hell does anybody buy this one?
I have
Like
no
a guy
idea.
who lends $100 million to Wells, Chase, or BofA is sitting in a cubicle going, I'll take this one, but if you get the commission on that one, I'll take that one too. Are you guys kidding? A guy who lends $100 million to Wells, Chase, or BofA is getting drunk in the Bahamas till somebody sobers him up, for God's sakes. The reality is it's a pooling servicing agreement. They're based on Wall Street collateralized lines. Now here's a real noggin bender. You ready? If Wall Street is still tied to the real estate market because now we have to cycle through the 5/1 adjustable rate mortgage, doesn't that make the entire market still depreciate?
Wow.
Wow. All right, follow me on this. Rule number 1, you got to have common sense and the ability to read, okay? In the words of Ron White, you can't fix stupid. And if you can't tie your shoes, chew bubble gum, or have a coherent thought, you aren't going to close a short sale. Because guess what? You don't have any buddies. You don't have any pals at the bank. You don't. They'll stick a knife in your back, steal your wallet, and kick you into the river. Got it? Good. Rule number 2, you've got to be nice because your client borrowed money. Guess what? Pucker up, buttercup. You're going to have to kiss the bank's butt until your lips bleed. You want to know who's successful at short sales? Anal retentive OCD people. I said it.
Wow. You did
You
say
want to
it.
know why? They don't play correction golf like you guys do. Most of you out there will generally close anywhere from 20 to 50% in your first year of doing short sales. Without training, it's roughly 20%. With some kind of idea of what you're doing, it's basically 50-50. We've all gone through the bloodbath. Well, I didn't. Trent did. That's how he met me. But
That's true.
it was a desperation call. Could you imagine having to make that phone call to me and going, wow, I hired an expert and nothing's closing. I've spent 12 grand and can you help me? So as I've gone out on the road and I've been in front of all these agents, I've been getting at least 2 or 3 people that negotiate that have anal retentive OCD traits. And I mean, like, from the minute how many times they've got to turn on a light to when they go to bed and how they stack their shoes. The reason for it is simple. It's just like correction golf. If you keep adjusting your swing by turning your body, you're never going to be a better golfer.
Right.
But if you create a system and an approach on how to submit, how to get the good value, how to go at it directly each time without variation, without listening to the BS, guess what? You're going to close more short
Wow.
sales.
We've only been telling that to you guys for 2 years. Follow the system. Create the system and then follow it. Or buy a system in Lee's case. So here's the deal, guys. We're going to bring back Lee. I think he's probably got 1 or 2 more episodes left in him. At least. He's pretty excited about doing more short sale power hour, guys. So we're going to wrap it
If they have
up.
Monster, it could be dangerous.
Oh, boy.
Do we get to do the clapping part?
Yeah, we do. Clapping part right now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Short sale power hour. Short sale power hour. Crush it.